Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday, April 10th meeting of the 2019 of the Grafton Affordable Housing Trust. First item on our agenda is Habitat for Humanity. Hank Roche. Hank came in last month. I think, was everyone here? Who was not here last, but okay.
I wasn't.
Oh, okay. So just for your edification, we had Hank come in and he gave a presentation on what Habitat for Humanity does, kind of their business model. I think we have some. I probably can get some flyers to you. Some like he had some screenshots of his presentation, and they're interested in working with us if we have a property that we can we can obtain. Specifically, we're thinking about developments at 5 North Main Street. And this is the kind of thing they don't have 15 of these going on at once. They take one on and they're very dedicated to. They'll have 1 or 2 going a year. And they haven't done anything in Grafton, I don't think ever, or it's been a long time. So he was very interested. Where we're at now is Joe touched base with them the other day, and we're kind of trying to get an idea of what it is he can do a little bit deeper. I mean, he needed to kind of get a sense about what the property was, and I'd like him to give us an idea about what that is, and then we got to talk about the cost and what it would be. If we had something that we could say, this is what we think we could do, we could talk to the owner and see what he's willing to do. We could kind of either move forward or put it to rest. Did I miss anything, Joe? Is that?
No, that's basically it.
Basically it.
Okay.
Okay. Good. So I cover it in terms of land acquisition. Covered 5 North Main Street. We know who
We know who owns that.
we know who owns it. That's
How's that
tied.
going?
That's it. That's hopefully a potential opportunity with Habitat for Humanity.
I forget what it is.
I don't think
Fill that in.
there hasn't been anything new with Hudson. We're just kind of, I haven't talked to there's been no conversation with the cemetery commission or anything like that. There is, Joe did remind me that if we do ever reach back out to them and talk to them, there is at least the westerly portion of the road, which is of interest as well, because I'm not sure that they would necessarily even develop that, but, we can table that for, unless anyone has any comments for future discussion.
There's no reason to even pick it up until
Right.
after the board changes composition. So.
Right. So what, something that's kind of coming to fruition that I think is of interest and could be very effective. We'd be profoundly ahead of any other development would be working with the developers of West Street and Church Street. The 52 units is what they're trying to put in, Joe?
57.
57. So I don't know a lot about the composition of the units or what their model is and what their design is, but I think it would be appropriate for us to have a conversation with them, ask them to come in, talk about what they're doing. I don't think they don't need affordable housing approval for anything, but I think it might be a partnership where we could talk to them and offer a buy down, try to lock down some units for as affordable to get credit for all of them. And this is sort of like the reason we were looking at these various properties, including Hudson and Millbury, is because this is the kind of lot that 50 plus units could be going in and getting the SHI up by all of them. And if we can buy some down, so I think it would be a good conversation to have.
So who was the project?
Rossi?
So, right. David Rossi is the applicant here.
Yeah.
So the units down off of Providence Road, Blackberry, Juniper, across the street towards the water side, Quincy side, is condos for sale. He's on the other side. They look like they should be condos, but they're all for rent. So these would be rental as well. I did, during a development team meeting, mention to him that, hey, this might be an opportunity maybe to work with the Affordable Housing Trust. So I put that seed in his ear. But I think it may be beneficial to follow up sort of formally in writing to the planning board and copying the applicant, just with a quick memo indicating that the Affordable Housing Trust would be interested in meeting with the applicant to investigate opportunities for buying down some of the units to have some of those units as affordable. The next planning board meeting is April 22nd. So it would be great if, the trust through the chair could submit something rather short and sweet and with the invitation to either meet separately, or to come in for a trust meeting.
And did I miss it when you said there's 50-something units, 1 or 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms? What?
Primarily all 2-bedroom.
All 2-bedroom, okay.
So
Rental.
the process by which we get credit for all of them, are we familiar with that? Because I don't think we've done this before.
So there's a couple different ways, because here this is allowed under the bylaw. There's a way of, and I'm just blanking on it. I know the reference, but it basically is like a local action unit. So it's something that DHCD allows for units that say, if we did a flexible subdivision as part of the planning board, we, like Peters Way, there's 2 affordable units there. That was created by a special permit, not by a LIP or 40B. That's a local action unit, and those can automatically go on. They still end up being deed restricted for those because they're sale ones, but essentially it's sort of like a quasi local niche program. But that would be the way that it would do it. You wouldn't say, okay, let's spin this RMF special permit into a LIP or into a 40B. You just would come to basically a development agreement and then do it as some sort of local action unit. There is a process for that, but it's first a question, is it even a possibility? For town meeting, there is an article that then adds in an affordable component within this district. Unfortunately, it was not submitted or advertised in time. He had already submitted his application, so we weren't able to then capture that.
Does it have a, would it be something that goes in perpetuity? Or I know City of Worcester, it's like 30 years. And then after 30, because I know people who are waiting, but the developer keeps them, rents them. 30 years though, that's when, so it's kind of like that catch-22.
For some
I'm
rentals,
gonna-
that ends up being one of the challenges as far as making that perpetuity, because when you have it as ownership, as each sale, new owner comes in, you basically re-up it.
Yes,
For rental, it ends up being a little different.
okay.
So what do you need, a motion, or then you're gonna kind of take the lead on this?
Yeah, I can
Right around.
absolutely,
Have 'em submit it.
yeah, I can submit a notice to the planning board, asking for, discussing the opportunity for potential buy down for affordable housing units and request a meeting, either formally with us in person or coming to one of our meetings. Yeah. I think that would be the appropriate way to go. Do I need to be granted that? I don't think so.
Just invite into the
I think I can do that, yeah.
Feel free.
That's great. Wait a minute, I should ask this. Is someone taking minutes?
We got a tape. We'll arrange for minutes.
Okay, all right.
I'll make sure I
have
get.
I won't remember as I walk out the
so-
door what we just
So,
talked
I mean, one, our meeting will probably be short enough that I am getting some part-time assistants in the office, and literally I'll have her type up minutes from this, watching the tape.
I was watching the tape.
Planning board, it would be torture to have someone sit
kidding.
and watch a tape for 2 hours. For us,
It'll be good.
half hour
Yeah,
would be
we're gonna be
okay.
okay.
It's good.
We'll just to it.
Do we have any further comments on West Street?
No, it'll just be, it's
think
all, but I just wanna, it's rental,
Yeah,
50-something units,
Rental,
2
2 units.
bedrooms,
It's
1
perfect.
to 2 bedrooms.
it's perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. It's
Yeah.
I think it's a really good opportunity for us to get something done. Other developments. So I did get contact from town that there's 2 potential candidates who are interested in town committees, trust, that sort of thing. I think there was a little bit of disconnect between me and Cindy, and then so I reached out to them yesterday, and one of them is going to look at the website, going to check it out, may come to our next meeting. I haven't heard from the other. I'll probably give him a call. So we're trying to chase that down and get another. We need one person. So if I can get one of the 2 of them in, and then have someone else be waiting in the wing, that would be great. I attended the last CPC meeting. Just to bring them up to speed on what we've been up to and what's been going on, and it was very positive, very supportive. Kind of talked about. In fact, they brought this up too.
Oh.
which we are, Joe had kind of planted the seed in my head and we had talked about it. They brought this up and said, is this something you folks would be looking at? I'm like, absolutely. But it was good in their, before they go to town meeting with our request for additional funds, they wanted to have a meeting with us and it went very well. I've been very, very supportive of what we're doing. But again, I next time we go in there,
Right.
I send the vice chair in, we ought to have something.
So that, when I
send the vice chair.
I had 12-hour notice.
When the vice chair goes in.
Joe, what's rental in Grafton for a one-bedroom?
I mean,
What's the going? I mean,
I'd have to look back at. We do have that information in the housing plan update.
Okay.
So the one that was just completed 2008, where it identifies what the sort of the market is for
Right.
1, 2, 3, and then what the sort of recognized affordable is, and sort of what you end up shooting for.
Okay.
So I'll pull that out and send that off to
Just
all of
thinking-
you just to provide that
going
update.
for
Yep.
New construction, center of Grafton,
Yeah.
all the perks and amenities.
It's a tough street, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Makes it
traffic for that.
yeah.
I'm not sure how they, I don't know how is there going to be 2 points of egress?
No.
No.
Just
No.
West Street?
Yes.
They came in originally with 2 coming in further down on Church Street, and while it is technically feasible, you basically had switchbacks, and it just cleared out the whole lower portion of that property. And fire department had been involved in all the staff meetings and basically said this probably ends up working the best.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Good for them.
It
I
did,
will know to avoid
reduce
that
down
corner.
the number a little bit because they were up like at 64. But so, and then just other, and I was thinking instead of other sort of trust development things in a very general capacity, other development things that are going on in the office. I just got the final executable documents for the Grafton State Hospital. Board of Selectmen, like 2 months ago, I think, had actually voted to sign it.
He's agreeing.
Been a while.
Yeah. So, as always, once the lawyers start to finalize it, takes a little bit longer. We just got that kicked back, so that that will be finalized, and we'll establish a closing date for that. And then soon after that, we're going to start developing an RFP to then start marketing that and try to solicit responses. Also of interest for town meeting, besides the RMF article, residential multifamily. The planning board is conducting a significant amendment to the village mixed use district. Within that, provides a lot more flexibility as far as housing types and also design standards. But in addition to changing the South Grafton area, we're also then taking that and applying that district to the area around Bolac Plaza, 215 Worcester Street. Perfect. Then also out at 100 Institute Road. That is the front commercial component that's owned by a developer who built, or who got approval, he hasn't started building yet, 46 unit single family development off of Institute. So this is sort of a front portion. It would include ability for housing. Of course, there's an affordable component. It's recommended in the Transit Village strategic plan, which we had conducted about now coming up on 2 years ago. There's a recommendation to look at mixed use housing, commercial, residential there, and the Board of Selectmen just signed a contract with VHB to start preliminary design work for a recreation path that actually would service this area. The idea is that would eventually connect to the commuter rail station.
Right.
So we're moving forward on those things. So
Okay. I don't have anything else. Does anyone else have anything to bring before the trust?
Nope.
All right, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
oh, sorry, that I thought you
Geez.
just meant being done with 1D.
Oh.
I know we don't have meeting minutes.
We get intent to sell for.
Yeah, I added this last minute because
I have the old agenda. I have
that's
the
why you got to
pre-amended
look at the packet I give you.
You got
this one right
you
here.
know, he just doesn't do it for himself.
So, in your packet, I have two documents. One from Greg Meyer. He basically is writing a letter indicating his intent to sell. He has one of the affordable units at Flint Pond. It's 5 Paxton Court. This had differed from some of our past requests. And I included a copy email from housing planner with DHCD. Basically said that they need to first tell the town that he's selling. We then let him know that we don't intend to pursue it, and then DHCD will send a letter indicating that they're going to work to find an appropriate purchaser for the affordable unit. So in the past, I had just worked, or and Rachel had just worked with Dan as far as saying that it's just the policy of the trust not to. But because actually this just came in, wanted to at least let you know about it and have you decide as far as whether or not town want to do anything. Here under the deed, the master docs, there is just a minor allowance for increase in sales price. DHCD will identify what that is. But in talking to DHCD, they intend on then trying to find an eligible buyer.
No reason for us to get in the way of that.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So, is that a motion or just a consensus?
That's a yep.
I move we
Because we have to recommend to the Board of Selectmen.
yeah, I move if we recommend to the Board of Selectmen that
Pass.
we not exercise our right of refusal.
A second. Do we have a second?
Oh, I have a second. I second.
All in favor?
Sorry, I thought you said.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then the last thing, I was going to throw out a quick amendment to the agenda, but then I'm like, well, having three amendments just
really
looks
confused
bad. So in items not reasonably anticipated the chair, because I literally remembered at about 4:00. It doesn't look like we had actually gone forward and paid Karen Sonnenberg for the plan. She also didn't realize until she was looking for the tax information. And so I'm like, well, I know you finished the plan. We all know that.
Right.
So tell us when you got paid. And she realized she doesn't have any record of being paid. So checking with accounting, they didn't see any final documents. Where things were left was that her insurance rider needed an updated insurance certificate. We never got that. So that's where things ended up being. So Karen revised her invoice, so it's a more recent date, and just need authorization from the trust to go ahead and process that payment.
We authorize the payment of $7,500 to Karen Sonnenberg for invoice. What's the invoice number?
It says invoice number
I don't
1.
have that part.
It has
Invoice
no
number-
Oh, it's on the end there.
Invoice number 1.
Yep.
Invoice number 1
There we go. Yep.
from CPC proceeds.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now I move to adjourn.
And I-
Thanks, everyone.
And then.